on WSGW. It is an open line hour. Whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111 is the number to call. And callers are lining up as fast as I can talk. So let's get to the phones this morning. And we'll begin with Carl in Saginaw. Good morning, Carl.
Good morning, Art. I don't know if you saw the Saginaw News this morning.
I did not.
There was an there's an article about Consumers Energy and the coal plant that they were ordered to keep open by the Trump administration.
Yeah, I heard about it. I haven't read a lot about it, only that it's going to cost them like $130 million or something like that. I forgot what the number is now.
Well, according to the Saginaw News, it cost them $135 million to keep the plant open, and now Consumers is asking for the rate approval so they can pass along $42 million of that to the customers. So we're going to be paying for that.
Well, you're going to do that no matter what happens. You're going to do that no matter. No, listen.
But we didn't have to do this.
Yeah,
we didn't have to do this.
No, we didn't have to build windmills either, but we did. Don't have to do anything.
Yes,
you just have to provide power.
Yes, but the windmills are more efficient than the coal plants. That's why Consumers wanted to shut the coal plant.
No, they wanted to shut the coal plant because the environmental issues caught up with them.
No. Well, and the cost to keep an old plant open. In fact, in the article it says it cost them about $600,000 per day to operate that plant. They didn't make profit. They lost $600,000 a day operating that.
Let me ask you a question. Did you worry about that when the majority of power in the state came from coal?
I wasn't crazy about it. Even like 30,
Did you even think about
it?
Did you even think about it?
Yes. You'd go to Bay City and you'd at the mouth of the river and you'd see that coal plant and you'd see the black smoke coming out of there.
In the early days, until they put the scrubbers on it. Yeah, until they put the scrubbers on it. You're right. But, did anybody stop and say, oh, it costs X dollars a day to run that plant? I don't think so.
Well, maybe that 30 years ago, maybe coal was more efficient.
And you know why? Because when you walked in your house and you threw the switch, you wanted your lights to come on.
Art, my house actually used coal. I had a coal furnace.
So did mine.
In my house when it was first built.
I still have a coal room, and I have an outline on my cement basement floor where the octopus furnace was. So I know what you're talking about.
So do I. I have a coal room, and we have a coal driveway,
we have a coal chute.
Used to dump the. Yes,
we have a chute outside the house that leads to that coal room where they used to put the coal.
Yes, but we don't do that anymore, do we?
No,
we don't heat with coal in our furnaces, because there's a better way to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying coal is the better way, but it just seems to me that the envelope got pushed a little too fast and a little too much. But that's me. That's the way I look at it. So, anyway.
Well,
all right.
Bottom line is, we the ratepayers are going to be paying for keeping that coal plant open.
Yeah, I don't know that it's going to stay open all that long, though. It'll be interesting to see what happens. All right.
Okay. Well,
good enough.
Okay. All right.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Art. And let's say hi to Paul in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. Art, in that same article, it also says that Consumers is asking to spread that cost over the whole Midwest. Now, they probably won't get it, but they're also asking to do that. But that's not why I called in.
Over the whole Midwest where they serve. I mean, they can't put it on other people.
Well, the Great Lakes states. So, anyway, what I called in for yesterday on the news, they said that kibbles It has more heavy metals than any other dog food, so you might want to take a look at that for your little
I don't use kibbles. I use that name generically. Dry pellet food. So, I use that generically.
Okay. And on Wednesday, O'Reilly was on Hannity. He said how Bad Bunny got the halftime show, and Apple gave $100 million to the NFL for halftime. So NFL says, well, who do you want? And he says, well, Bad Bunny, because he generates hundreds of millions of downloads.
Yeah, that's well publicized.
We can get our $100 million back plus 4 or 5 times more.
Probably.
And the third thing is when Whitmer started governor, it was $56 billion budget. States losing population. Now they want to raise it to $88 billion.
86.
Why are they
86.
asking for more money? Huh?
86.
Okay, 86. So why are they asking for more money in the budget when the state's actually losing population? They should be cutting the budget
because they're getting
population decreases.
I just had Matt Bierlein on, and we talked about that. The state is getting more money. Prices have all gone up. Salaries have gone up. So income tax has gone up. Sales tax has gone up. The state's seeing more money, and instead of saving it, they spend it.
Oh, yeah, they're spending it like drunken sailors.
So, and right now there's I think he said $850 million shortfall they have to account for. So they'll get more on that coming up. But they're in the throes of talking right now, so it's going to be a while before we see the finished budget. So,
yeah.
All right. Good enough. And we'll say hi to Mark in Gladwin before we take a break. Mark, good morning.
Good morning. 2 topics. One, those windmills, they're only regulated to go so you can only get so much energy out of them. Doesn't matter if the wind's blowing 100 miles an hour. It's not going to go any more energy because they'll get destroyed if they spin.
Yeah,
Correct.
They're governed, right.
After so many years, each one of those has to be replaced. What is the cost to replace each one of those? Because they can only spin so long, and then you got to have maintenance work done on it. So that's a cost coming right there. That nobody...
I'll tell you this, maintenance is continuous on those.
Yeah. So what I wanted to talk about is your Rolodex and maybe getting Dan Dickerson, since we got Verlander coming back for 1 year.
Yeah.
We got Tarek Skubal, and we have Jack Flaherty. To me, that sounds like a World Series type lineup.
And we also have
this year ago.
We have the new guy, Faber Valdez, who is he's gonna jump before Verlander. I would not be surprised if Verlander is the tail of the 5 rotation, because he's 43 years old.
Yeah,
he doesn't have, he's still a great pitcher, but he doesn't have what he had when he was here. It's going to be different.
Correct.
So it's going to be interesting. That's a good point, though. We see if we can do that.
Yeah, I always like to listen to Dan. He always starts us off on a good year. So
yeah, and next Friday, I think that's what Charlie said. Next Friday at 1:00 is the first preseason game already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
looking forward to that. I'm a baseball fan, though. So, all right, Mark.
Well, hopefully, if we watch it on regular TV this year. So,
well, you're going to find it on the MLB Network. So, better have the MLB Network. All right. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye.
Take a break. Come back. We'll get to Chuck and Tim when we return.
Pat's Food Center and Do It Better.
Hi, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, and let's get back to our phones on this open line hour. Chuck is in Bay City. Chuck, good morning.
Morning, Art. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks. Hope you are.
I am. Just got a comment from someone you had on last week, Peter Sinclair.
Yeah.
He's an environmentalist. I'm aware of that. I guess most people are. Not a scientist per se. But when you have a guest on like that, when people call in, they have opinions and they have the right to express them. I get that. But when you have a guest on like that, then some people that are knowledgeable about what he's talking about take things for, gospel truth. But he's not a scientist. And let me give you an example. One of the things I could talk all morning about some of the things he said, but let me give you an example. He talked about a consensus in science. Those two words don't go together. If it's a consensus, it's not science. Science is not a consensus. Let me give you an example.
Yeah, science is fact.
Science is fact. An example would be that, let's say, Johnny brings a puppy to show and tell at school, and all the kids are around the puppy and looking at it, and Sally says, well, Johnny, is that a boy or is that a girl? And Johnny says, I don't know. And Larry says, well, why don't we vote on it? Vote on the sex of a dog. That's a consensus, Art.
Yep.
And that's not science. And he mentions that as consensus. Any scientist will say that science is not a consensus. It's fact, like you said. And that's the type of stuff that...
Let's just understand one thing, and I only say this as a devil's advocate, all right? Even within science, there are disagreements on the facts.
On the facts. Correct. There are.
So you can have.
That's why there are.
You can have a consensus of scientists who view it one particular way, and a group who don't. So yes, science is based on fact, and yes, fact is not done by consensus, but there is opinion consensus within the scientific community.
Those are peer review studies. That's different than a consensus. When you do a peer review, for instance...
I understand that, but if there's a multiple group of scientists who go to that particular peer study and believe it, you have a consensus on that study. Consensus is nothing. Consensus is nothing more than agreement.
Yeah, they don't believe it until they either do their study, doing it the exact same way.
Maybe, but
which is peer review.
But consensus is nothing more than a group of people agreeing.
Yeah, but I know that, but it's not science.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So, but I just thought I'd bring that up because, and coal, I'm familiar with a lot of the coal. Coal actually has been very, very clean over the past 20 years or so. I've been to a lot of the consumer hearings when they had the hearings when they were going to build the plant in Midland, and consumers was there with their coal and with the nitrogen oxide and all that, all the impurities that are being discharged by coal plants are cleaned up enormously.
Oh, once they put the scrubbers in and they improved those scrubbers as they went,
yes.
What was coming out of the stacks went from black to white, mostly steam.
The best thing we could do in this country is do more nuclear power.
Well, I think we will. These modular nuclear plants are going to be coming online. And,
I hope so.
I hope so, too. All right.
So, thank you, Art.
Good enough. Thanks, Chuck. Take care. Bye-bye now. Let's go to Midland, and we'll talk to Tim. Tim, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Happy Friday.
Same to you. Thanks.
Yeah, last caller, gentleman was spot on with a lot of what he said, so I just want to kudos to that. Great conversation. I want to make 2 points here. First one is I work for the state, and I've worked there for the past 4 or 5 years, basically as a retirement job, okay? We are grossly overstaffed.
Well, well, guess what? I think Matthew Beerline said there's 49,000 state employees, and the governor's asking for another 1,000.
Yeah. Well, the question you have to ask is the department I'm in, we've added almost 500 people in the past 4 or 5 years. What you have to ask is, okay, show me your improvement. What has this done to you? How are you doing things better? And the answer to that question is it's not. It's actually probably gotten worse. More people have to touch things now, and turnaround time has just decreased. We've gotten worse. So that's the first point. Is like we are grossly overstaffed. From a person on the inside, I can tell you that right now, 100%. There's no doubt we are grossly overstaffed.
Yeah, which means we're overpaying.
Which means you're overpaying,
and it's coming out of our pocket.
And the thing is, with some of the technologies coming online, the streamlining of the processes, it should influence government or affect the way government processes things. You don't have to have people touching all these things. It can be done automated. And the department I'm working, if they would just automate some things, we could probably cut half of the people that work in it.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Second point I want to make is, and I hate to keep going back to this Epstein thing, but I think it proves when Bondi, that nasty woman that testified before Congress the other day, it proves me within a shadow of a doubt there is a group of people, a shadow government, that is influencing and running our government. I didn't believe this up until now, until I see what's kind of going on with this and how they are defending, deflecting, protecting these people. She sits up there, wears a cross around her neck, and protects pedophiles.
Here's the thing.
It is absolutely disgusting.
Wait a minute now. Wait.
All right.
Who are the pedophiles? If your name is in that file, does that make you a pedophile?
No, but there are co-conspirators listed in those files that she crossed out. In her initial listing, those came out. Co-conspirators with Jeffrey Epstein in those initial files. So I watched the trial, and Massey was spot on with what he was saying. And what does she call him? She calls him names. He's got Trump derangement syndrome. He's asking why did you redact these names? There's nothing to do with national security, and it has nothing to do with protecting the victims. She redacted the names of co-conspirators. Then she went back after he pointed out she had to unredact the names. So there are people she's protecting.
Yeah. I would say one thing. I don't believe it's a shadow government because they're doing it right out in the open.
Well, that's an excellent point. It's like when Trump comes out and says it's a hoax, there's nothing to see here. It's like, wait a second. Why are you saying that? And I'm not saying Trump is one of these people that rape children. I don't know that. But his Department of Justice is obstructing justice and covering it up. They have done this from the get-go. Kash Patel lied to Congress. He is on record as lying to Congress. So that's my point is there's no real difference. I've said this before. It's a uniparty. You get some smoke and mirrors, some theater, and this whole thing with Pam Bondi might have been just theater. There might be nothing coming out of it. It's just like, hey, look, we're
probably
getting
won't
to the
be.
bottom. So I don't know, but my point being is it's undistinguishable now between the two parties. They're just as corrupt.
It's been that way a long time. It's been that way a long time.
Right.
It's been that way.
I'm going to drain the swamp. Trump says I'm going to drain the swamp. That's a joke now. It's like, are you really? You're not draining it. You're pumping $500 billion more into the DOD, which is probably the deepest part of the swamp.
So, all right. Time will tell.
So,
midterms are coming.
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be a landslide.
Well,
and I think it's not a Democrat. I'm pretty much going libertarian at this point because I think both sides are disgusting. I think you're going to see a massive landslide for the Democrats because the Republicans are just not going to show up. It's going to be a forget it.
I don't know about that. We'll see. I'm not as pessimistic on that. All right. Good enough. Tim?
I'm not being optimistic. I'm just trying to be realistic.
I understand.
Yep.
Good enough. Thanks, Tim. Take care. Bye-bye.
You bet. Great. Thanks.
And we go to Pinconning, and we talk to Reno. Good morning, Reno.
Good morning, Art. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you, and I hope you are.
This is the first time I'm 68 years old, and this is the first time I ever talked to you
No,
online.
you're just a youngster.
I know, and so are you.
Yeah, I only got you by 15 years or something like that. I don't know.
There you go. Well, we're growing old together.
Yeah, that's good.
I back in the mid '80s, and I understand that the scrubbers are getting much better than they used to be. But I worked for a company called Michigan Ash Sales, and our job was to haul all the ash out or put it in place out in the consumers' muck ponds.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed a lot of days back then, the 80s and the 90s, when I worked out there, when I would go to work at like 3 o'clock in the morning, because we hauled this stuff all over. We hauled it all the way from Toronto, Canada, all the way across Michigan, down in Indiana. We hauled it all over. And when I would go there early in the morning, just when the sun would be coming up, you would notice there would be about a 3-mile opening, and then you could see the brown trail, because what they would do, they would shut their scrubbers off at night, and they would turn them back on about 2 hours before daylight. Because the scrubbers, they used to take a lot of percentage of the power from the plant.
Yep.
And but I realize their scrubbers are really good now, and they're doing a great job of cleaning, but you still got to deal with the ash.
Well, yeah, but nuclear, you got to deal with the spent rods, and there's consequences to everything.
Oh yeah.
So
yes,
I mean, you don't have to deal with any aftermath of, say, natural gas. But
and there's a lot of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of it. That's right. So, but
and the only other question I had, Art, is with the immigration, why can't the left distinguish between legal and illegal immigration?
You know the answer. It all has to do with votes. They, in my opinion, and that's all it is, but in my opinion, the reason they are so supportive of the illegal immigrants is because they think they're going to vote in their favor when they get the vote. It's been that way for a long time. It's unfortunate.
I know.
It's unfortunate we make decisions that way. Instead of right and wrong, make decisions based on what's right and wrong, we make political decisions based on what's expedient for the party. That's too bad. Right. That's both sides. That's not just one.
Well, laws, and when they're in place and they follow the law, it's better for both sides.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's always better when you follow the law, in my opinion. But they don't see it that way. They just don't see it that way. It's too bad. But we've elected them, so it's up to us to make the changes if it's going to happen.
Okay.
So,
well, right. It's good talking to you.
Same here,
Reno. Have a wonderful day, and God bless you.
Thanks for calling. You too. Bye-bye now. We'll take a break, come back. When we return, Susan will be up right after these notes.
Hi, Stan the Gold.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW, the Art Lewis Show, and we get back to our phones, and we'll talk to Susan up in Bay City. Susan, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Always good program. There's a lot of different things right now, but, I figured that the Democrats have had 12 years or more to really mess up this country, and everybody expects to see a miracle out of President Trump, in 1 year. But, the thing that really got me the most was the fact that they're saying 14% only of the illegals are basically any sort of a criminal, but they fail to tell people that they have decriminalized child prostitution, child trafficking, child porn, drug dealers of any kind, heroin, it doesn't matter, rape, assault, a DUI, even if in the accident somebody was killed, robbery, carjacking, and the list goes on and on. These are decriminalized. These people that do these, if they're illegal, they walk. There's no bail. They're out on our streets. If they've committed 5 murders in El Salvador or whatever, but they didn't commit them in the United States, they've illegally walked over our borders. They don't have any kind of they're not allowed to they don't want ICE to pick them up. That is just crazy.
Well, let's look at some numbers, too, just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
You mentioned the 14%. If you assume, and we'll pick numbers because nobody knows the exact number.
Yeah.
But if we assume, we always heard 12 million, for example.
Yes.
If you observe 12 million, that means if there's 14% criminals, 1,400,000 and some odd thousand criminals. We haven't gotten rid of that many yet. So.
No. And you've got to remember now that they have decriminalized the list of what I have put on there.
Yeah.
So that's some bad hombres that ICE is trying to get out. And the Democrats, their whole thing is right now is to create as much chaos throughout Trump's term to try to destabilize the country.
Well, unfortunately, that's what politics has gotten down to.
Yes, but so they don't have the backs of the American people. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They don't care about somebody's daughter. Look at these young girls that have been murdered. Laken Riley, and it's just been heinous crime after another committed by illegals. And now the judges want to bring them back from El Salvador, from that prison. And all these judges are basically, they're nuts. And it's just one roadblock after another, and Trump's throwing into trying to keep Trump from creating a better America. Even the SAFE Act. I can't go to the library and get a library book if I don't show it, if they don't have my ID.
Yeah, the SAFE Act is something that, I mean, I mentioned it the other day. I mean, when I go and vote, they want to see my driver's license.
Absolutely.
And,
Here.
if you want to fly, not only do you have to have your driver's license, but it has to be a real ID driver's license that proves you who are you say who you are. And
I'd like to see you walk into another country. You just walk across the borders. You try that and see how far you get. Yeah. And then we let millions and millions of people in here. And then real quick on a different subject, they're painting Trump terribly now because of the bridge from Canada to Michigan. Say, well, Canada paid for it, and it's, we don't get any say in it. Well, Trump says we get half the toll because half of that bridge is here in Michigan. We got people coming back and forth from Michigan to Windsor, Windsor to Michigan. He's sticking up for us. And finally, thank God, finally, somebody is sticking up for us and trying to put money back into the coffers.
Yeah, well, I think any tolls collected on this side would have stayed on this side.
Yes, that's the whole thing. But they want all the money.
That's not the whole thing. He wanted reparations from them for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah,
I really think the bridge ought to be taken out of that whole thing, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, and and back to Epstein there, the one gentleman was calling in regards to that and bonds and everything. But you know what? If you go back to the Kennedys and Chappaquiddick, and there have been so many cover-ups if you wanted to do it.
Yeah, but I will say this, and I got to let you go, but I will say this. Yesterday was not Bondi's finest hour.
No, it was not. No,
She's
it was
smarter
not.
than that, and she didn't come off very well yesterday.
No, she did not. But the only thing I can say to that is I think she's getting so much thrown at her. In cash.
Doesn't matter. She's got the job. It's her responsibility.
I think her and Cash. I agree. With that. But yet I'm not going to shoot the messenger. Maybe she's maybe some higher up. She's not allowed to come out with it. Who knows? But she.
Well, just was not a good day for her. That's all. All right, got to run.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Susan. Bye-bye now. We'll be back. We'll get to Matt when we return.
How is your child doing in school this year?
Why they love banking with us. Waldo loves the customer service.
I'm 99 years old. I love Dow Credit Union.
All right, we're back with you. Yeah, we get back to our phones. We're going to go to Millington, and that's where we find Matt this morning. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Art.
Morning.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a quick question in for all the viewers with a local thing that happened with Grand Blanc High School going on a protest for ICE. And the news, the local media, is actually saying it was just because it was a half day. As a taxpayer, our kids should be learning. I understand they have the right to protest and stuff, but why would the news say it was just a half day? So that gives them permission as a taxpayer to be able to do that?
What did they mean by half day? Was it an in-service day where they only went to school half the day, or?
Yeah, correct. That's what they said on the news.
So they were protesting after they were in class. They went to class, and then they
protested. I'm not for sure if it was during class or after the half day. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, well, I would have a problem if it was during class, but I would not have a problem if it's after class. They have a right to do it. They got a right to protest. As long as they keep it nonviolent and they stay within the bounds, more power to them. That's part of the educational process.
Right to protest and stuff like that, but I was just sort of curious because they said it was half day, so I didn't know if it was during school or after they got out at 11 or 12.
And I don't know either, but there are in-service days once in a while where they only go for partial. But, again, I don't know when they did it or, what was required of them at the time. So it's hard to say.
Right. Well, just a quick question.